It's not in the book, but I'm here for it. We're going to be reacting to Dune Part 2, trailer number 3. As a filmmaker and a video editor, I am beyond stoked for this movie. I watched Part 1 in theaters multiple times.
I'm a 3D artist, been doing that for a couple years professionally now, and I have a newfound hobby of cinematography, and Dune definitely falls in that category, so let's get started.
It's okay. I'm here. It's been a while since you've had one of those nightmares. Tell me, what was it about?
It's only me.
Dude, already the sound design is insane. You were saying something right before this that the VFX shot changed on that initial,
Yeah,
on this initial explosion right here.
Since trailer number 1 and 2, we've got a different explosion here. You might notice that with a couple of different visual effects, and in the first trailer, they didn't even have blue eyes in all of the scenes.
Why do you think that is? Just VFX artists not having time?
It's just the progression of the work. It wasn't done yet.
It's only fragments.
That cut, that riser, we're like 20 seconds in and they got me hooked. I'm stoked. Also just like the armies clashing, this looks wild. And I love seeing like Zendaya's character.
Well, given that everybody thought she was going to be in the first one, she was in like the last
I know,
10
I was like,
minutes.
I need more Zendaya.
I wasn't upset by it. I feel like some people were. I did not honestly notice until the end. I was like, oh yeah.
I was upset.
Nothing's clear. You've been fighting the Harkonnens for decades.
Look!
My family.
So that explosion shot, obviously some of it's practical, some of it's VFX. Like how hard is this one?
These ones are especially difficult. In the previous trailer number 2, we get a little bit more detail of this shot where we see it exploding inside the shield and then expanding. And their color grading of the fire is also amazing. Just really well done highlights. It's not blown out.
I mean, the whole color grading of Dune in general is just insane. It's very stylized. The DP of this movie is one of my favorites. He does basically all my favorite movies, and so
My family's been fighting them for centuries.
Your blood comes from dukes and great houses.
no way, that's sick.
I love that shot right there.
Dude, what the the costumes for this are insane.
I want to know like why the decision that they have like almost nothing else visible in the frame.
Yeah, it's
Like,
completely
the exposure's
black.
completely focused on her.
Which I love.
Yeah,
I love
it
that.
Gives for an iconic center shot.
Again, Rebecca Ferguson, one of my favorite actresses. Like this, it's just the whole trailer is just stacked.
Here, we're equal. What will we do?
What the heck?
The lighting in this is
The siege?
in situations like this is still obviously not achievable with any amount of actors unless you had.
Hundreds of thousands. Yeah.
I am curious. Like it does look like the majority of these people are all real, which is awesome.
Yeah, at least the middle portion would
Honestly,
be.
everything that Denis does is usually based in practical effects.
Yeah, that's why a lot of his work feels so grounded.
Yeah.
Is because it starts practically and then the VFX is added onto that.
What we do for the benefit of all.
Not very much.
This music is different from the first 2 trailers. First
I
2 is very
agree.
much from Part 1, kind of
Yeah.
that reminiscent nostalgia, and now we've got this new song, and I'm loving it.
It feels a little bit more triumphant.
Yeah.
Whereas the other 2 trailers, I feel like they were kind of like imminent.
Yeah.
Like the Baron is approaching.
I'd like to be equal to you.
Maybe I'll show you the way.
It's not in the book, but I'm here for it.
Yeah. Filmmakers got to make their
Timothy and
slight
Zendaya
changes.
on
You got to
the
make
Dune.
some changes to make the story flow correctly in
Yeah.
a visual format.
Yes.
A lot of people get all worked up with like books not the same as the movie, but I'm like they're 2 different mediums.
It's not supposed
You
to.
can't tell it the same way.
Yeah, and that's why you have the book. You enjoy the book and then watch the movie for the
Exactly.
movie.
Read the book though. Do it. He hasn't.
I haven't. I need to.
Comment if he needs to read.
Maybe I should. Yeah, maybe if this gets 1,000 likes, I'll actually go read the books.
Deal with this.
I just had chills. Oh my gosh. I feel like every single one of these trailers has just been incredible. And this, just like that whole first minute, we're only halfway through, or even less than halfway through. And I'm just already beyond stoked for this.
Send assassins.
Fade Rother. He's psychotic.
He's gonna be brutal. Did he just slash her
Her throat, yeah. If you watch it on 0.25 speed, which I totally did earlier.
I don't think I want to watch it on 0.25 speed.
There is some trickle down from there.
Well, he's definitely a
between
villain.
Federatha and some of the other things that go on with the Fremen, they most definitely could have made this a rated R film. But
Probably.
I appreciate
I'm glad they
Denis's
did it.
willingness to make it PG-13.
A little more accessible for the general audience.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes that's necessary, but
And honestly, I think it's better because Frank Herbert's writing style was not explicit. Like,
No.
even in the scenes that they could have made rated R in this movie, they were not described in such a detail that felt rated R.
yeah.
And so I really like, and I feel like PG-13 is true to the nature of the book, even though the topics are serious.
I see possible futures all at once. And in so many futures, our enemies prevail. But I do see a way. There is a narrow way.
So good.
Which one? This one?
I love this shot, given the just the reflections across all of their helmets.
Yeah.
I'm really curious how much of this kind of shot was actually shot outside.
Outside.
I think most of it was. And being able to control all of that, they must have had some serious negative fill or something. But
Narrow way through.
and I love that we see these guys on the back of the.
we see all
room.
these Fremen. Yeah,
Yeah.
look, they're just like all on top of that. Holy cow! You can. It's like one guy, and then it just becomes
multiple.
hundreds of people, and they're facing an army, and they're just scattering. 3.
Yeah, I did not expect to see 3 when I
All
watched this
synced
trailer
up in line.
at all.
You almost just assume that there's one throughout everything, and now you realize, oh well, duh, there's more.
Yeah.
But
My allegiance is to you. Do you believe me?
This is a form of power that our world has not yet seen.
It's kind of like that earlier scene that we saw. I feel like this is somehow connected to that previous scene.
yeah, she's like dressed in the similar
Yeah.
outfit.
That our world has not yet seen. The ultimate power.
I want you to know.
Wow, that shot right there where we get the little extra plume from the explosion, like we see it impact and we see it expanding, but then it kind of like has an extra like folding out. of that.
Extra, like it's like breathing almost.
Yes, and that was very effective, and I felt like that was such a cool detail that didn't have to be added, and maybe it was just a chance of the simulation that they ran out of like the 300 different versions they did.
Yeah.
But that looked really good.
I want you to know. I will love you as long as I breathe.
You will never lose me as long as you stay who you are.
Consider what you're about to do, Paul Atreides.
That's insane.
He's mastered the voice.
Well, you see in the first movie like his progression of like he can barely get his mom to move a cup halfway across the table, and now he's facing like the ultimate Bene Gesserit mother, and he's mastered the voice. He's coming into his power.
Yeah.
He's realizing how much influence he has, and he's using it. And she's obviously taken aback physically and emotionally. You can see like her whole countenance change. That's powerful shot. Just him,
Yeah.
having his
Chris knife.
Chris knife. Yeah, just raising that and like having all the Fremen do that too.
Prophecy is how they enslave us!
Shoot. Dude, that was insane. That whole trailer, I've watched all the trailers. I've seen first movie many, many times, and I've like the second tickets go on sale. I want to go multiple times in theaters in IMAX just because I feel like this movie kind of demands that. If you guys like this, we may do a full movie breakdown and reaction, talk about some of our favorite scenes. If you guys want to see more of that, subscribe. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.